In the legal world, there is a combination of forces that feed a corrupt and suffocating legal system for attorneys. Law schools, law professionals, judges, and even the firms themselves for whom you work create a system, a matrix, if you will, that is nothing like what you thought when you passed the bar exam. The purpose of this podcast is to help you escape this legal matrix, leading you out of the proverbial desert to be free of the bondage of the matrix. Hosted by Bryce D. Nyer, attorney at law with over 30 years experience in the trenches of civil and criminal litigation at the state, federal, and international levels. He's a highly accomplished and resourceful legal professional, a true master of his craft, and he's here to help you get your life back. Here's your host, Bryce D. Nyer.
All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Bryce D. Nyer here from Fayetteville, North Carolina, coming at you. Escaping the legal matrix. An attorney's exodus from, well, hell on earth. All right, we're here in the Fort Bragg area, also known now as Fort Liberty, but I'm never going to call it that. Never. It's Fort Bragg to me always. So how's everybody doing out there tonight? Today, whatever time zone you're in. So what are we going to talk about tonight on the episode? We're going to talk about politics and lawyering. You're like, oh, I don't want to talk about politics. Well, guess what? Everything you do in life is politics. There is not a single thing that you do every day in your life that does not involve politics in some way, shape, or form. I'm not talking necessarily about, your local, state, or federal elections and all that. I'm talking about life in general. Oh, what? You think there's no politics in life and what you do every day? Listen, there's politics all over the place in all of your domains of body, being, balance, and business, and the fifth domain of fulfillment. You're negotiating every single day in every one of those domains. Don't think that you're not, because you are. You law students, you young lawyers, you lawyers that are maybe been in practice for a while, seeking to transform your life, transition, open your own firms, all that. There's politics in everything. Everything. I mean, look at body. You're politicking like, should I get up or not get up? You're negotiating with yourself. Balance. Should I date her? Should I date him? Should I not? The interaction, relationship, you're politicking. Being, well, you can't politic with God. He doesn't politic, okay? It's his way or no way, and that's just the way it is, okay? So in being, you can either believe or not believe, but again, you can't politic with God. He's not a Republican. He's not a Democrat. He's not a lawyer. No. In business, for sure, you're going to politic every day. You're trying to close deals. You're trying to make money. You're trying to convince people to see things your way. You're trying to close those deals. And in the legal profession, brothers and sisters, it's all politics. All of it. From the minute you apply to law school, you're politicking. You're trying to sell yourself. Who are you trying to sell yourself to? You're trying to sell yourself to the law school. You put in your application, your references, your LSAT scores, and you are competing with thousands of other people across the nation to be accepted. You are politicking. You're running the equivalent of a presidential campaign. And who's your constituency at the beginning of the legal profession? Well, the admissions committee. And then in law school, you're politicking for grades, to be top of the class, to be on law review, blah, 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 law review. The legal profession, it is the crossroads of politics. It is. That's exactly what it is. Everything in the legal profession is politics. And when you get ready to take the bar exam, who are you politicking with? Well, you're putting in your bar application and all that information and all this other stuff. And you're politicking like to learn everything to study for the bar. And once you get admitted and you start your first job, you're politicking. You're interviewing for jobs. You're selling yourself. You're marketing yourself. You're campaigning. And who's your constituency? There's always a constituency. When you're applying for a job, it's the employer. When you're in court battling it out, it's a judge or it's a jury. When you're trying to close a deal and get hired, it's the client. When you get married, you're politicking. You're politicking for affection. You're politicking for sex. You're politicking for, having a good night out, a date night. Everything in life that you do, that you say, it's politics. And in the legal profession, you're going to live that way your whole life. And then there's the politics of you against you. Yeah, it's true. You're politicking with yourself. You may not know it, but you are. You're having to make decisions. You're having to make choices. You're having to weigh the options. And you're actually having arguments with yourself. Should I do this? Shouldn't I do that? Should I go here? Should I not go there? Should I take this case? Should I not take this case? Should I hire this person or not hire this person? Should I work with this lawyer or not work with this lawyer? Everything you do, everything, again, comes down to politics. You can't avoid it. You know what I love about social media? Here's what I love about social media, which isn't much. Okay. So, in one of the social media sites, LinkedIn, which is supposed to be a business site, okay, for business professionals, blah, blah, blah. And it's, it's a pretty successful platform. I got tons of members, okay? And I read recent statistics today that I think it's like 90%, I think it's like almost 96% of lawyers, really use LinkedIn from the ABA study that just came out today. So I'm looking at this, and I always see on LinkedIn, like when people start commenting on what's going on in the world stuff, is this Facebook or is this LinkedIn? Okay, dude, if you own a business, then whatever the government, local, state, or federal does, passing legislation is going to affect your business. So yeah, it's a proper place to discuss politics. And people say, well, at Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas, two things you don't talk about, politics and religion. I'm like, why not? See, that's the whole problem in America. That's the whole problem. Everybody's avoiding politics. Everybody's avoiding religion. Nobody's having real conversations. They're just staying all bottled up in their political genie bottle. And then when it gets ready to, you get ready to implode, it's because you're not having conversations. In the legal profession and in life, at least I've learned this, you have to have real conversations. And they may be confrontational, and they may be very collision-oriented. But life is politics. It just is. Even when I was in the military, people are like, oh, you're assigned this, you have orders, you have missions. Yeah, but the military is still political too. How the hell do you think all those people got promoted to admirals and generals in the various services? Oh, what? You think it was just like on their merit alone? No. At that level, you're politicking. You don't get to be like, for example, a federal judge in the legal profession unless you know some U.S. senator, some U.S. congressman, somebody swanky up there in the political realm. It doesn't work that way. Everything's political. Everything. Politics is just a negotiation between human beings and their ideas. That's really what it is. You've now chosen to go into this legal matrix, this legal profession, and the legal matrix tries to hold you within all these parameters of the politics. And the minute you step out of it, you get spanked. Well, see, that's the whole thing about legal, the legal matrix and about why we advocate for legal warrior. You have to go outside of this box. You have to effectively run your own campaign for body, being balance in business and fulfillment. You have to take control. You're campaigning for you. You are your own campaign. You have to set the political platform in all 5 of these domains. That's what you have to do. And see, that's the problem with the legal matrix. The legal matrix from the very beginning of when you applied to law school to when you graduated to when you got your job to when you go into litigate, whether it's criminal court or civil court, domestic or international, they set these boundaries and these rules, and you either play by the politics or you're out. Well, you know what? It's a new dawn and it's a new day, and that's why there's legal warriors to take on the legal matrix, because you're going into a new political realm. You're taking on the system. Everything in life, personal and business, is trying to control you and set parameters. And it's all about the politics and who you know and greasing the palms. Just get along to go along or go along to get along, and all of that. Well, that's not what you want to do. And if you do that, you've lost total control of your life and you've let somebody else's politics dictate your life. Yeah. People think when you get married, they have this thing about, I'm not about submission, okay? You're not submitting to be a slave. You're submitting to one another to, exchange ideas, to have conversations about how you build your lives together. Some work out and some don't. And the politics just may not mix well and end up in divorce court. It's the same thing in the legal profession. The exchange of ideas and exchange of conversations, the exchange of mindsets. That's what really politics is all about. That's what it's about. You can't escape that aspect of life. I mean, even from the very beginning, depending upon what your religious beliefs are. Let's just talk about Christianity, okay? And the Garden of Eden. Once they got caught with their pants down, they didn't know their pants were down until they ate the apple. They tried to politic with God. It did not work. But that's what they did. And then from there on, coming forward to present day in the human race, everybody was politicking for power, for money, for sex, whatever it was. Somebody's politicking for something. That's all human history is about, politicking. That's what it is. Every ancient civilization had leaders, kings, queens, rulers, emperors, dictators, and it was all involved in what? Politics. And that's what your life is going to be in the legal profession. But again, you are campaigning for who? For you. And it's absolutely critical that you learn now how to deal in the realm of politics and the legal matrix. Because if you don't learn how to navigate in the legal profession and how to communicate and how to collide and how to have a code to live by, you're going to die. You're just going to die in place. You're going to wither away, and the politics of the legal profession is going to mow you over. I mean, I remember, when I was applying to law schools, it's how you present yourself, what you put on the applications. And in one of the particular law schools, they require a personal interview. And that's the law school I ended up going to. And they required everybody to come and meet with one of the professors. They would interview you. Oh, well, that's kind of cool. But you're essentially politicking to be accepted. You're having to sell yourself. And I remember going through the process after graduation, like I've said before in earlier podcasts. When you're applying for jobs, you get all these rejection letters, and then you get someone like, yeah, come talk to us. And you're going in there and you are campaigning. You are trying to sell yourself to that constituency. That's what it's about. And you're going to find that when you're in a law firm. You have to convince and politic with the potential client to pay you. You have to convince them that you are the better candidate, the better lawyer in order to get hired. Just like when you're dating. Why should this girl date you if you're a guy? Why? Why are you better than the other guys? You girls, I want to date this guy. Why am I a better girl? There's something that has to be unique about you. Your political makeup has to make you distinctive than every other candidate in body, being, balance, business, and fulfillment. Because you're a candidate. Life is spent being a candidate for something. You're always running for something. And it may not be like the actual political office, but it may be you're running for fulfillment. You're running to get a better physique. You want a better relationship with your significant other, with your family. You're politicking. You're having these conversations. Politics is a real thing. You just can't escape it. I mean, it's all over social media. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with having, collisions and conversations. I mean, that's what it should be, to develop the ideas. Now, some people take it to an extreme and are just stupid about the way they approach it. But that's why you have to be levels above that. You have to have the intellect and the skill sets to be able to negotiate and be able to politic. Because remember, in the legal profession, you're always trying to convince a judge or a jury to see it your way, your particular legal position for your client. That's the true art of the deal. That's the politics of life. Getting somebody to follow your train of thought, to accept your value, to accept your idea, to accept you. The greatest salesmen and greatest saleswomen in the world are the ones that understand the politics of life. They've mastered it. They've mastered it. And I wish, like years ago, I'd had somebody on a podcast, saying, hey, I've got all these years of experience, and if I could go back in time, this is what I would tell myself. This is what I'm trying to do to all of you. I'm trying to get you to wake up. Not be contained in a box, not let the legal matrix control you and make you this little programmable robot where it's really actually artificial intelligence. You need your own intelligence. Successful political candidates, those that are running for election, again, whether local, state, or federal or national level, they're selling you on their ideas. They're politicking with you. They're connecting with you. It's about the connection. It's just like marketing is not advertising. Marketing is connecting. Politicking is marketing. It's about connecting. It's about getting people to accept you and your ideas and to buy into it. That's what you want them to do. When you're sitting there in the legal profession and you're talking to a client sitting across the table from you, you have to communicate and connect. And you have to politic. You have to be distinctive. I can't tell you the number of clients that have come in here and hired me and fired their other attorneys. Why? Because the other attorneys were not willing to politic. They let their campaigns die. And you have to constantly campaign. You have to keep your political skill sets fine-tuned. You can't let them lax into the land of sedation. Who wants to hire a boring lawyer? Who wants to hire a lawyer that has no confidence or competence, that doesn't instill in them like, this is my guy, this is my girl, this is one I want? No. You're politicking, you're campaigning every day. It never stops. Even in your sleep, you're politicking to get sleep. And let me tell you, in the legal profession, there are going to be some nights you're not going to get some sleep. You're going to work yourself to death, man. Why? Because you're politicking for your boss to get that partnership track or that big bonus at the end of the year. So, I want you to think about this. I really do. I want you to think about this whole thing about politicking. Don't view politics as this ugly thing. People are like, yeah, man, politics, it sucks. I'm not political. The hell you're not. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. There's a big brand on your head for politics. It's right there. You're politicking in everything you do, whether you realize it or not. I can't stand when people go, man, I'm not political. I don't get into politics or office politics. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. They must be stoned if they don't think that everything they do in their personal and business lives does not involve politics of some nature. It is. It is. People, again, remember, it's the exchange of ideas, conversations, collisions. That's what it is. That's human interaction. Politics doesn't have to be dreaded. It doesn't have to be ugly. It can be fun. It can be like the Hunger Games. And you're going to politic your whole life. It's never going to stop. From the minute you're born, you're politicking. You're politicking for food, for attention, to be cared for. And when you get old, you can't take care of yourself. You're politicking, and somebody's going to care for you in your last days. Yeah, you are. I know. It's hard to think about. You think, I'm young now. Yeah, well, again, you're going to politic all the way to the day you die. That's what life's about. Life is politics. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't have shame and guilt because you're politicking at work. Don't have shame and guilt because you're politicking about a relationship. Don't have guilt and shame because you're politicking to get the jury and the judge to see it your way. There's no shame in that as long as you live in truth. You have to live in truth. Now, if you live your life in body, being, balance, business, and fulfillment, and you're just a snake, that's a different story. Don't be a snake. You can be political and be smart and be strategic without being an idiot. And see, in the legal profession, let me tell you, you're going to meet a lot of political idiots. They're just dumb. They're dumber than doorknobs, man. You know, they don't have a brain in their head at all. Somebody took the helium hose and filled their head up. And they don't have any substance. And you in the legal profession, the legal matrix, you're going to meet people like that. You're going to meet down and dirty people in politics. Those interactions, those conversations, those collisions. Your opposing counsel, dirty politics. You've got to learn to master it. You got to learn to rise above it. You got to outmaneuver them with what? Politics. It's interaction, connection. Remember that. Say it. Connection, connection, connection. Did I connect with the jury? Did I connect with the judge? I mean, you know, you've got to connect. You got to convince them to see your way. Campaign, campaign, campaign. And don't stop campaigning. I love it when people are like, oh, I'm going to run for judge. And they're like, oh, I lost. And then they sit out for 4 years and don't do anything. That's just stupid. They should continue to campaign if they really want a judgeship in this example. They shouldn't stop. Okay, that election's over. Okay, done, over. You lost the election. You want to win it the next time? Keep politicking. Keep running. Make your opponent stay on guard. Don't let them sleep. Let them know that you're going to be operating in the shadows, in the dark, man. That you're coming in to step in their pond and take their fish, okay? Be that shark that eats all their bait. But that's what politics is. Sometimes it's kind, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's really ugly. But if you're going to enter in this profession, you're going to fight the legal matrix, you better learn the politics. So I want to leave you with those thoughts tonight. And, you know, as you move forward in your legal career, especially for your law students, you got to think about this. The law school is usually 2 to 3 years, and that's it. And after the academics is done, you're getting in that real world, and you're politicking for the jobs. If you're a lawyer that's been out for a couple of years, and you're looking to shift and looking to move and transform your life and own, operate, and lead your own firm, you're going to have to politic. And you can't solve it in just this podcast. And what does that mean? It means you got to have a conversation with me. Yeah. Bryce D. Nyer. Why? Because I've had to do it. I'm speaking from experience. Sometimes the politics has been great. Sometimes it's really just sucked. But it's never going to end for me. It's never going to end. It's never going to end for you. So I want you to think about that tonight, among other things. I want you to think about it over the next couple of days. Write down, what are your politics in body, being, balance, business, and fulfillment? It's not just running for political office. It's about living. It's about your life. Okay? So I want you to think about that. I want you to focus on it. You know, so it's been another great evening here, another great podcast with you all. So anyway, I want you to do your homework and write that list out. What are your politics and body, being, balance, business, and fulfillment? We'll be catching you on the next episode. This is Bryce D. Nyer coming at you from Fayetteville, North Carolina, home of Fort Bragg, now called Fort Liberty, but I'll never call it that. We'll catch you on the next podcast. This is Bryce D. Nyer. We're out of here.